Don't talk as though you want to pass a message. You are here to fight. We are not fighting.
I'm here to fight. Let me tell you something. You have no control over what a woman decides to do with
do.
her body. The moment you realize that...
Stay in your father's house. Why are you getting married?
What the fuck are you?
Stay in your father's house.
What the fuck are you?
My name is Paul Rudiment.
Paul Rudiment, you're a bloody fool. Get out. You're a bloody fool. What the fuck are you staying in your father's house? What the fuck are you? Do you have a house? Look at how you're dressed. Do you have a fucking house? What the fuck are you? Off.
So today we'll be checking out the viewpoint of the feminists versus the anti-feminists, and I'll be dropping what I think and my own opinion to in the mix, and we'll be seeing how everything turn. Young pepper scatter. Guys, let's jump to reaction. Let's go.
Feminism today is no longer about equality. It's about hating men.
Feminism right now is more of misandrist. You can't just say that, all men are this, all men are that. And whereby you can't say all women are this, all women are that. If someone doing something bad, it's human-based. It's not about a gender.
But when we speak about certain things that are being done, looking at the statistics, who is the perpetrator of this thing that is being done? When you hear cases, do you think, oh yeah, a woman did that, his mother did that? So when you hear certain things, you can't just assume and say, oh, it's not a gender war. It is a gender war when women are losing their lives every day. And we're not looking at Nigeria at large. We're talking of everywhere. You don't hear situations of a woman beat her husband up. So even you staying here, you don't know who is going to do whatever to you tomorrow. So you standing on the opposing side is an insult to women in general.
So first of all, this first claim is kind of absurd a little bit, because we're talking about violence, we're talking about crime. Both the male and the female gender perpetrate crime and evil. But now, this is now what we have to say. A gender, which is the male gender, is more aggressive and has the monopoly when it comes to, not only the monopoly, but has majority of, the monopoly when it comes to violence, aggression, and things like that. That's on the male side. So because of that, it tends to be that gender specifically that does more of the crime and everything. And this crime and this gender, this violence is being perpetrated to both male and female. So the male gender perpetrates violence to both the male and the female. Do you get? But that doesn't mean females are not also violent or doesn't participate in some of all these crimes. But it's just that because one is more aggressive and violent, they tend to do it very, very often and very, very nasty. But that's not the thing. Even for the guys, we are fearful for our life. And you can say, but you are afraid of men too. True, we are afraid of men, but we are afraid of women too. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But not so, because at the end of the day, we can minimize to look at, okay, what will a woman do to me? Blah, 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 blah. A man has to do with violence. Do you get? So we can't put that on just one gender. Bad people and good people. So we have to put the good people, we have to separate the good people. Then the bad people has to be sent to jail or have to answer for their crime. But it's not just one specific gender.
Gender roles exist for a reason and it should be maintained.
So I saw that your teammate earlier brought up the patriarchy, and I have like a major point for that. Everybody comes and speak online and say, oh, the patriarchy, is the patriarchal system that is ensuring that, oh, women are oppressed. What is the patriarchy? The way anybody will view it is like we have a certain number of men at the back there and thinking, oh, I want to hurt a woman today. Wow. I think that they... Hold on. So at the end of the day, it's not actually the patriarchy. There's a system that doesn't favor everybody. And it's fine to say, oh, let's go back to the Constitution. Oh, let's talk about this. And let's allow, because most of these systems you're calling comes from the Constitution. I mean, is it Twitter that is going to change it for you? It's not the lawmakers?
So I think you've been speaking to the fact of Twitter so much. And I think that's like the
ideology
most of you guys have had.
Those are the loudest.
That being said,
and that is what everybody's going to know.
That being said,
I mean, this is going to be posted on the the internet. People on Twitter are going to watch it
However,
and they're going to have opinions on YouTube.
The point I'm trying to make is there's something very particular about you guys who think feminism
Please
is
don't call
bad.
me guys. You don't know me. You're meeting me for the first time.
You guys, that means the spectrum, like all of you as a
You don't
whole,
know.
you and your team and everybody online that believe feminism
I
is a
can't say
problem.
women.
Do you know one beautiful thing about
No,
you?
everybody-
You really are a smart mouth and you really think you're really, really smart. Meanwhile, you are the empty barrel who makes the loudest noise.
Time
Now,
up.
I'm coming somewhere.
Time up.
There's no active oppression or like deliberate. That's what I'm looking for. Deliberate oppression of women. It is the system is oppressive. And if the system is oppressive as a whole, we have to go back to the constitution, or maybe there is a revolution or whatever to change the entire thing. But it's not as if men are just oppressing women and that is it. No, if the system is bad, we have to change the whole system and look for okay, what are the new things and good things we're talking about, not one gender trying to. And that has been my problem. Like that's what the part of being my problem with feminism, because it claims okay, one gender has just set out to oppress the other gender, which is not true. Which is not true. There are people that do evil things, yes. But the people that do evil things, or let's say the evil men are the minority, they are not the majority of men. So all of us can be bearing the sins of the minority of men. We can't be bearing the sins of what few men are doing.
Abortion is a fundamental human right. Men should have no say in it.
Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
You disagree?
It is not.
Are you the one carrying the pregnancy?
Are you the one that put it there?
Hey! So it's by putting it there. So are you saying you want to have control over a woman's body just because you got her pregnant?
You don't own it.
Who owns it?
You don't.
Who owns it?
You don't own your body completely.
Who owns the body? You're
When-
not answering the question.
when-
If I don't own my body, who owns my body?
Okay,
Do
hold
you
on.
own your body?
Hold on. I don't own my body completely.
So who owns your
You
body?
are accountable to some persons.
Who is the person you're accountable to?
Okay, let me ask you a
When
question.
you die, does anybody die with you?
Let me ask
Do
you
they
a
bury another
question.
person in the casket?
Let me ask you a question. If there is a curfew and you are told not to come out by 12, you own your body, can you come out?
I would come out if there's a need for me to, and if I do come out and something happens to me, I bear the consequences.
You can't come out. Abortion is murder.
Murder by
Yes,
who?
it is.
Do you use condoms when you have sex?
That is private. You can't ask me
How
that.
is that private? How
can't
is
ask
how is
me that.
abortion not private, but condoms when you're having sex is
Why
private?
are you asking me? So tell
Why is
me
it because
if
you
I'm
have a certain perception you want people to have of you,
I'm
and you don't want them
I'm
to have
telling
that?
you that's an abortion because that's the living thing inside of you.
Oh my God,
So I have a
really?
say. I actually put it inside of you.
Oh my God,
Yes.
really?
Did you
so
form
if
the
you say
baby
I
yourself?
shouldn't, so if you say I shouldn't terminate the pregnancy, I should leave it.
Why would you terminate a baby?
I wouldn't even want you to be the father to my child, so I wouldn't even tell you jack shit. You have
I
nothing
really
with the
can
pregnancy.
tell what lives inside
Aside
of
from
you,
your
I can
sperm,
tell.
you can tell what lives in me. Let me guess, Jezebel.
I
Or
can
what?
tell.
Tell me what lives inside of me.
You don't talk as though you want to pass a message. You are here to fight. We are not
Oh, I'm
fighting.
here to fight. Let me tell you something. You have no control over what a woman decides to do
I
with
do.
her body. The moment you realize
Stay in
that,
your father's house. Why are you getting
what
married?
the fuck are you?
Stay in your father's
What
house.
the fuck are you?
My name is Paul Rudiment.
You're
Yes.
a bloody fool. Get out. You're a bloody fool. What the fuck are you staying in your father's house? What the fuck are you? Do you have a house? Look at how you're dressed. Do you have a fucking house? What the fuck are you? Fuck off.
Yeah, that is where yam pepper scatter. But this is it. You shouting or you being angry doesn't mean you're winning an argument. That's just like that was just a lot. But okay, this is the view. I'm saying that men don't have a say in abortion is crazy because both of you are actually coming together to do something, to form a baby, to form a life. Let's put it in the marriage context in which both of them are talking, most of them are talking about. Obviously, you people came together to do something, so you people should talk about it and know, okay, are we keeping this child or are we not keeping this child or whatever. And in the case that okay, let's say you people are not, let's say married, there has to be at the end of the day. Let's paint a scenario. I don't want the child, but you eventually give birth to the child. Now you are calling me that okay, I have to be a responsible dad or whatever. If I don't want the child, we should talk about the situation. And if you want to give her the child, you're like, okay, I'm not going to touch the child. But let's say, for example, now the man wants the child and you don't want the child. That can also be painful for the man in which, I really want this child. It's just, okay, just give birth to this child for me and and go. But the thing is, at the end of the day, okay, it's not easy because the woman is going to be the one that will, take the child or whatever. But these are things that we should talk about. There's nothing like a man shouldn't have a say. We should also, it's like, but because this is like a kind of argument in which, okay, let's say there is a situation in which there is a case that is pertaining to a man. Let's say, for example, now the issue of war happens now, and let's say men are being drafted and men are being said, okay, men are the ones that are going to go to face war, this war, or whatever the situation is, or something that is very, very male dominated. Are we going to say women don't have a say? Women, they will be daughters, they'll be part of the daughters, they'll be part of the wives of any man. Let's say, for example, Ukraine. So women in Ukraine should not have a voice, I mean, should not have a say in maybe their husband or their children going to war because they are not men. Like, I don't understand that because, okay, we are saying a lot of people are going to be in position of power, which most of the time, especially in a country like Nigeria, are men. They are going to be the one that will legislate and have laws for abortion and for this and for that. So those men shouldn't have anything to say. They shouldn't talk about it. They shouldn't have a say at all.
Forming a child biologically is a joint effort. Do you agree?
Okay, yeah.
So if we have a joint account, does that imply that you have a say in that money and I also have a say?
First off, I think it is highly disrespectful
Please, answer me.
to call a woman's body, to relate it to an account. Let's start with that. And also, I think it's a flawed argument to only relate abortion or pregnancy in the concept of marriage.
Okay, so I'm just going to say this real quick.
Because it happens outside of
I'll
this
say
as
this
well.
real quick while you continue.
Okay.
What makes a conversation more educative is that when someone is talking, you want to get to what the person is really saying.
The thing now I'm saying is, even in that conversation, we correct certain terms that are used. Even if you are making an example, let us be sensitive about it.
Can you at least just answer me? So listen to my nonsense.
No, I don't agree. You cannot relate a woman's body to an account, no.
Then I don't think we have anything to say.
It is an example, for goodness. It is an example. It's not necessarily saying a woman is a bank account, or how should we put it? A woman's body is a bank account or whatever. It is an example. Like, we give example, which doesn't necessarily mean that is the thing, but we're not using that to, it's an analogy. I'm ready to say it to get to know that, okay, if there is a joint account, both of you form together to join, and that's a very good analogy. I feel like maybe she felt that maybe she may not be able to answer that question. That's why she's trying to use that emotion now. Because if two people form an account, that means before any money is withdrawn or being deposited into the account, both of you will talk about it, or there will be two signatures on it. That doesn't mean that, okay, one person cannot, do whatever. But both of you have to talk about it, and there has to be a conclusion to that in any one way or the other. To do that, and do this, it is a woman's body. Please, it is not the child. It is the child. Your womb. You are housing the womb is like the house for the child. You are housing the child inside. So it is not your body, because there's another body in your body. You know what I mean? There's another body inside your body, and that body is the child, and it is the child that you are. If you get what I mean. So
feminism is not our culture and is ruining romantic relationships, especially in Nigeria.
So I didn't discuss the other part of the prompt, which says it is destroying romantic relationships. The patriarchy itself, as long as it suppresses women, it suppresses men as well, because it imposes unrealistic roles, unrealistic expectations of men. Or as a man, don't cry. Or as a man, you cannot be too emotional. Or as a man, don't do this, don't do that. But feminism is here to say you can breathe.
Are you saying feminism is in support of men?
Yes. Both sexes. That is the point here. I know that we have strayed at some point. People have strayed. But then the main essence here is that it is here to fight for the equality of both sexes.
You say that feminism is fighting for equality.
Yeah.
What feminism is fighting for now is superiority. It's fighting for the upper hand. It's fighting for authority. Something that you were all against before, that, men are the one leaders, are all of this. But now what feminists want is to be at the top and men to be down.
I understand what you're saying, that there are narratives out there, men should be lower, women should be higher. No, we can both exist in the same space, right, and respect each other. That's what we're here to do.
But culturally, feminism was never ever part of the Nigerian system.
No, feminism has always been in existence.
It has never. It has
always
never.
been in
It
existence.
wasn't tagged feminism.
Exactly, before the war became mainstream. But it has
Sharon,
existed.
you were voted out.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. This is one thing I will not take. Feminism is not for the both sexes. What do you mean? Then that means it's not feminism. Feminism is for women and women's rights. One specific gender. Women, not both. That's what I will not take. It's not both. Most of the things we talk, most of the problems and most of the things we talk about are under feminism and women's matter. So it's not for the both sexes. And yes, in Nigeria, we did not term anything as feminism. Even though, like she mentioned, if you're gonna watch the full thing, which I would advise, go and watch the full thing. She also, I don't think it's here, but I think she mentioned, about women riot and things like that. And that's that part of what I'm talking about. If there's a kind of system that's creating hardship for the people, these are things we should fight and what's the name, try as much as possible to fight against and change the laws. Those are the things we change, those kind of laws. But in Nigeria is a patriarchal system. Our culture is patriarchal, our religion is patriarchal, and in Nigeria, if you know, we are very religious and very cultural, and those two things are patriarchal. Very, very. Islam is very patriarchal. Christianity is husband submit to your wife. Sorry. Jesus. Wife submit to your husband. Wife is the husband is the head. Patriarchal. So nah. Guys, sorry.
Quickly, I want to touch on the second point. I honestly believe that feminism has helped marriages and relationships, and it has helped women like you, right, to escape terrible marriages. If you look in the past, right, you could say, our marriages used to last, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't lasting because everybody was happy. It was lasting because the women had no choice. If you're financially tied to your husband, everything about you is to your husband, right? Obviously, if he's not acting right, where would you go? Your father's house? No. And even if you could go to your father's house, the society views divorced women.
No. I'm not taking this. This is one of the things I don't like, and this is part of the things that some of the information that are being purported most of the time by feminists in argument and online and what they talk about. In as much as they believe that most marriages in the olden days or in the past, most of them are bad marriages. But because people could not leave the marriage, please, I don't think most of the marriages in the olden days were bad marriages. They were actually very, very good marriages. They were productive marriages. Marriages in which people come together to do something. People come together to do a lot of things. Yes, they are bad marriages, true. But it's not every, marriage by that time, at the olden days, that is a bad marriage. And there is choice. There was choice. But the thing is that for a woman to have a choice, you have to have a strong either father figure or let's say brothers or people that can exert force. Because see, the olden days before all this cushion and modernity and all these things, and there is police and people that you can go and meet, all these organizations and things like that. There was nothing like that in the olden days. And like I said, force, men had monopoly on force and aggression and violence. So for example, now if you are in a let's say bad marriage and you want to leave that marriage, or you also have to have someone that can help you, exert force or exert kind of violence or aggression, because that's the only way. Like that time, that was the language. Even till date, force and violence is still an underground, it's just now that we have cushioned a lot of things with with modernity. We don't really see the violence like that. But even maybe in the Western world, because we are in a country like Nigeria, you will see it, the aggression, all these insecurity and people that are terrorism, and this, most of them are largely done by men. I don't think I've ever seen a woman as part of the Boko Haram or people like that. So because of that, you also need a male figure, be your dad, and that's why dads most especially were very important in those days. Dads and brothers and people like that, those are the people that can help you get out of that relationship. Yes, socially it was not deemed as something that was good to divorce your man or to leave your man, but that is part of the things that helped, those society to cope. I feel like most of the things that they did in the past were done to be able to cope with how harsh the reality of things were then. Now, it's not as if I support everything that they did. I definitely did not support some things, even though some things, some part of culture were good, but I feel like most of the things was done from the harsh reality of life and how to cope with it, not from the view of let me oppress this or that gender.
Men and women will never be truly equal.
The thing is that men being predisposed to these, attributes, it's because that's what society has told them to do.
I disagree with that.
No.
I do believe that inherently men
You
are
think we have innate
more aggressive.
features that
Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that. I believe that our brain makeup is different. I believe that we
But then
believe
do you
and
also
have
agree
different world
that society
views.
also tells us how we should behave, how we should act? I was having a conversation with someone and he was telling me about how, this guy acts like a woman. I was like, how does a woman act? Who determines these things?
Society. And society is largely men. For the
Exactly.
most part, it's
Which
been
is a
men.
patriarchal society, exactly.
This woman for my hand, and she did the anti-feminist side. I don't know. Maybe she's supposed to be on the feminist side actually. Maybe we can just call her a very cool and collected feminist in a way. Because what do you mean society is made up by men? Or will you say the powers that control the society is made up by men? You have to specify, because society is made up of both male and female. All these societal culture, societal norms that we complain and talk about are both contributed. Those things are contributed by both male and female. It's not only male that decide the society or the norms that happen in society. Let's get that one clear. So what I was saying, we are not the same. Physically, we are not the same. The way we think, the way women are more emotional than men, which is true. Men are more logical in the way they talk about things now. I'm not saying they are more logical than women. A lot of women even smart past guys most of the time. But I mean, our approach to things are very logical. Why most of the time women approach to things are very, very emotional. So, for example, now if there's a tragic thing happen, a woman is more predisposed most of the time to first of all like cry and do some things. Why men most of the time will just first sit down and analyze and start thinking of solution and things like that. And this is one of the things in which I feel like when they say, men should be crying and should be killing, but when there is something that is very, very tragic, a man will cry. But a man should not be crying for every other thing. Be saying, that is we and that's part of the differences I'm talking about. The way we share our emotions are different. We share our emotions in different ways. Men do not always cry. When something tragic happens, you see a man cry. So yeah, that's what I'll say about that. We are not the same, so we can't be equal. If we are not the same, it can't be equal. Like all these fingers are not the same like this now, so they can't be equal. But each has its own strength and its own weakness and its own importance and its own. And one is not better than the other. One is not better than the other. But feminism is trying to preach. Okay, let us overthrow the patriarchy and let us do it with the matriarchy. That's what I do. That's what I don't get.
My advice to feminists out there is, I'm sorry this might break you, but you can never win a war with men. You cannot.
For you to move this movement forward, you need men. Because every revolution and everything that comes to be, that has to change, most of the time are violent in nature. If you get what I mean, most of all this revolution and most of the things that we enjoy today, and most of the government that has been, because for example, this World War, all this Hitler and all those people that they conquered, it was through warfare, through violence, through things like that. So if the feminists want the ideology to really move and to really pass, not that they're just talking on Twitter, like we want to really pass some things into law and for it to really be effective, you need men. So you shouldn't fight men. Because you need men that will actually be violent and maybe die for the cause. Because a lot of people will have to die for the cause. Or maybe women, if you can fight and die for the cause and fight by yourself, maybe that will work too. But yeah, that would be very, very hard to be fighting, man. Yeah, that would be bloody. That would be bloody. But thank God, men are not just evil and wicked people. Thank God they are good men. Thank God the majority of men, most of the men are good men. But there are few bad men. That's the thing. That's what we keep on. There are few bad men, and there are few men that are controlling this world and controlling everything. Majority of men are not doing that. This picture, majority of men are not the one controlling everything. There are few selected men that are doing most of all those things. So yeah, that's the end of this video and my rant and everything. And guys, just see, I will advise you to go and watch the full thing. Very entertaining and refreshing interview. And I don't know, there are still a lot of things being said there that I couldn't. It's 1 hour. I watched everything, but I could not react to everything. Maybe we'll get to that stage one day that I'll be able to like do like it, because for me to do that, I would need like let's say 2 3 hours to flesh out on those. Maybe we'll get to that point in which I'll have people that can actually sit down and watch it. That would be very, very nice, because this one's they're looking so long. And yeah, but if you want, maybe there should be a part two. I should take other clips too, because there are other clips and other things that were being said too. Take other clips and do my thought on them too. Yeah, just like this video and put it in the comment section if you want a part two. Yeah, like this video, share with your friends, and if you're new here, please subscribe, comment, let us feminists, let's fight in the comment section. Peace out.